Hello and welcome to Your Place, a video magazine with informative chats with newsmakers in automotive retailing. I am Dennis McGinn, founder and chief executive officer for vehicle reconditioning and communications company RapidRecon. 3 times a month at Your Place, we visit guests at their place of business to engage in conversations about issues shaping the car business. Today we're talking about Recon Hacks, little tips and ideas to save time and frustration throughout vehicle reconditioning. I know today's guest speakers well. They are NADA workshop speakers, appear in Ted Ng's Fixed Ops Roundtable, and are contributing editors to Fixed Ops magazine. Anthony Greenhalgh is Director of Sales and Marketing Operations for RapidRecon. Anthony Martinez is Director of Client Services for RapidRecon. Both have extensive experience in hands-on dealership operations. With that, let's get at it. Let me throw the ball in your court, guys. Your program is called Recon Hacks. What does that mean? And give us a couple of examples of these hacks in play at dealerships.
Well, I'll jump in here, Dennis. So Recon Hacks are really some industry's best practices that dealers could apply today to their reconditioning practices that help them eliminate non-value added time. We're more about helping people eliminate waste than we are about making somebody turn a wrench faster, or as Anthony would say, make carpet dry any quicker. So that's what a Recon Hack is. And we have some examples here for you today. We'll kick this off with something that should be in every single store, but a lot of stores hear it and they go, why didn't I think of that? And that's dispatching to the availability of the tech. And this is a service hack. And typically what we see in service departments in reconditioning is you have a vehicle that comes into reconditioning. And so they say, well, first vehicle in should be the next vehicle into reconditioning. Well, you really end up bottlenecking yourself when you do things like that. What we suggest is that look at what's going on in your store when you bring that vehicle in. So is it 4:30 in the afternoon? And are you bringing in a 80,000 mile Subaru that needs quite a bit of recon? If that's what you're doing because it's the next vehicle in succession, you're really creating your own bottleneck. Look for that 2020 Silverado that's got 9,000 miles on it. That's a quick oil change and a CPO certification that you can get done tonight. That's the vehicle you bring in at 4:30 p.m. You bring in that 80,000 mile Subaru and give that to a tech. In a lot of cases, that tech's going to pull the car in, pull it into his rack. He won't rack it. He'll close his box and he'll head out and he'll get to it tomorrow. But you give him that Silverado, he's going to punch it out tonight and you'll have it over to detail before he goes home. That's dispatching to the availability of the tech. And that would apply to service technicians. It would apply to detailers. Really any situation where you have people touching the car, look at what their situation is and fit the inventory to that, and you'll get more cars to the front line faster. And with that, I know Anthony's got some stuff on detailing. Would you talk about variable detailing?
Yeah, absolutely. There are just as many opportunities to save time in the cosmetic portion of reconditioning. Variable detailing is referring to organizing your cosmetic repairs and your detailing into categories that is standardized across all of your employees. And what I mean by that is, think of detailing instead of a detailer grabs a car, feels what needs to be done to it, and just goes to work on it. Now, there's going to be a lot of variance and variety in how one detailer works versus another, how they start on the car, how they finish, the quality or the standards, maybe even how you pay them. Well, if you move to more of a flat rate program, very similar to how you would pay and organize labor for a mechanic on the service side, you can actually accomplish a lot more efficiency on the detailing side. So maybe you categorize your detailing into 3 stages, both interior and exterior. You have certain triggers. Pet hair or aggressive stains would be the highest tier. Something that was maybe purchased at the auction that just needs a quick wash and vac and just some touch up, that would be at the lowest tier. you could pay differently, and you can train differently. And what's great about that is you'd be able to standardize exactly what is done where. Okay, so a detailer would be able to get their ticket, see the car they need to work on, see the stages inside and out, and immediately know, okay, I'm going to need a steam machine. I'm going to need stain remover or a carpet brusher or whatnot. Or, hey, look, this is just a quick wash and vac and I can move on to my next one. It also allows for proper dispatching, very similar to the point Anthony was making. You can now fit in that final car for cleaning at the last hour. If you've got a stage 1-1, that's probably 2 hours of labor. Maybe they can be a little bit more efficient and get done in 90 minutes. But that car would have rolled over to the next day. And now because you have variable detailing, you can see the complexity of the job to the standard that you've trained. You can also predict the pay, the cost, and how much time it's going to take. So we're big fans of promoting variable detailing. And not only does it save time in dispatching, but it saves time in the actual work itself.
And Anthony, on variable detailing. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Variable detailing is also quite popular with the variable department, because as they're checking that vehicle in, then they know what to expect for an expense. So and I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it so people can hear it. But you would suggest determining those stages before that vehicle go into production.
Absolutely. That should be part of the initial inspection, because what you're providing with this is transparency to everyone. The detailer will know how much they're going to be paid because the stages are listed. The sales department they are going to know how much they're going to be charged because it's like menu pricing. Stage 1 is this much. And service knows, fixed ops knows how much it's going to cost because they know how much they're going to pay the detailer and how much they're going to charge sales, obviously. So everyone is aware. It's also not just in payment, but it also is transparency in quality. So if I'm the sales department and I know I paid a stage 6, well, my expectations are there's going to be stain removal, there's going to be headlight restoration, there's going to be odor removal. And so that's what I paid for. And those are the features and those are the services that I should have received. So it also holds the detailer and the reconditioning department accountable. So variable loves it because, again, they can see what they ordered, and it's everybody's in sync.
I
now
think that
everybody's
also,
in sync. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that, you talked about this being something that they determine at appraisal. When we're talking about properly UIing on a trade under allowing on a trade, we've got that variable detailing stage there. We know what we're going to spend even going into negotiations on the car. So, this starts way, way, way early and goes all the way to the completion of the vehicle. This is great.
Let me back out of this thing from these specifics for a minute to kind of the larger picture of things, because these hacks usually add up to something in the bigger picture. And so I'd like to get you, Anthony Martinez, to comment a little bit about the time to line that is really taken, or the average days in recon. These how do these actually help you improve the commitment that usually a dealership has to get their average times down? How does that come together?
Well, too often everything is decentralized, and a lot of times I'm exposed to dealerships that they're not thinking of the entire time from acquisition to front line. It's usually segmented to where this service advisor would be responsible for this portion, this cosmetic repair for that, maybe vendor for that. But when you look at the entire process, and that's one of the metrics that we look for to give our customers is time to line, acquisition to the front line ready to sell. And we'll even look at a time within that of the reconditioning time by itself. Just watching that is going to help bring awareness because, like we've said over and over, it's that time in between the tasks that kills everyone. Mechanics work as fast as they can. Detailers are the same. Everybody works as fast as they can. It's the time in between. How long is that repair order sitting on a desk? How long is that car sitting in the parking lot before you can find it? And the hacks are addressing that. We refer to those times as non-value added time. It's that dead space. And just by shrinking that with some of these clever hacks and actually using a proper workflow with notifications so that everybody understands, hey, he's done, it's my turn. Okay, I'm done, it's her turn. That's really what makes the biggest difference. And that difference translates into dollars, not just efficiency, but you're reducing the holding costs. You're increasing your inventory turn, that they can sell cars faster because they're getting to the line faster, which means their trade-ins and the new cars are coming to you faster. So everybody wins, both fixed and variable. But the hacks are important because sometimes they come off as common sense. Sometimes they come off as clever, but always they come off as time savers. And if you can implement them, it really does help. And sometimes the hacks open your eyes to an entirely new process. And we have simple ones, like how you would actually train or how you would standardize the logistics of stocking supplies, up to something much larger that could be a culture change, establishing a digital workflow, a notification system. How are you handling your estimates and approvals? We want to make sure that that car gets off the rack as fast as possible and is only on the rack once. We're trying to eliminate that back and forth. So it's really part of a bigger process, but I feel that the hacks are the best bang for your buck, kind of the lowest hanging fruit that you accomplish. If you follow one or two hacks right then and there, you're going to be saving a lot of time.
Well, that's really good insight. Anthony G, any other thoughts from looking at it from the your point of view, since you've got a whole different set of experience with your work in the body shop world and fixed ops?
Yeah. So, and I'll speak directly to department heads, but these hacks are the controllables that we as department heads have control over. Before you go out and, as I like to say, go out and kill your employees because you're not getting the production you need, ask yourself, are you doing everything that you could be doing to help your people do their job with excellence? And that is applying these processes. And what I see a lot of times is people trying to change one thing 1,000%. So they'll weigh it and go, well, I'm not going to do that because it's not a very big impact. But think about how these small hacks compound. If I implement a small hack that makes somebody do something maybe 30 seconds faster, so it only cuts 30 seconds out of their day, but I have 10 employees that this is going to affect, I've now added 5 minutes. So something that might seem very minute has a huge impact, and you add 5 of those together, and pretty soon you're detailing 1 more car per week. So don't think that any of these ideas are too small, because they all add up. If you're looking for that, that low-hanging fruit, we're happy to help you with those big ones. But where you really see the impact is taking a lot of those small areas and attacking them. I mean, and it can be anywhere, anything that slows your people down. And I know we're talking reconditioning, but I'm going to give an example that affects reconditioning, but you wouldn't think it would. When you're stocking office paper for your printer, have a sheet of paper that you put 2 reams from the bottom when you stock the paper, and it's time to order paper. So when you get down to 2 reams, that paper comes off. You put that sheet of paper on the supply sergeant's desk, and they now have an order form that says it's time to order paper. You don't run out of paper when you've got time. You run out of paper when you've got a technician standing there. He's looking for paperwork, and you run out, and then you've got to go run and find some more. Running out of paper holds up processes. So even though that might seem like, wow, that doesn't have anything to do with reconditioning, it is something that slows your people down. Address it. It doesn't matter how small it is.
And continuous improvement, there is a local level of expertise. And what I mean by that is only the leadership at the shop will know. So it's not something that can be blanket advice that everyone can follow. It could be something as simple as look at that wasted movement of where that tire machine is to where the technicians are actually doing the work. Well, maybe if we move it X closer and we make it part of the flow of dropping off paperwork to parts or something like that, you could save those minutes. And so that's why continuous improvement requires the insight and the collaboration of those leaders that are local. And that's what we'd love to do, is interview and find out and observe, and then bring up to the local leadership there. What if we did this? Would that affect your workflow? Because we think it would be more efficient. But Anthony is right. I mean, 30 seconds here and there adds up, and it completely can change the outcome at the end of the month or end of the quarter.
Let me just wrap this up by asking you guys. I know that we all think a lot about where do we stand, how are we doing against our goals, and every recon operation has their objectives. Usually they come from management who says, really, we'd like to be at 3 days or 2 days. And of course, we know that you can work hard, but if you don't know where you really don't know where you are, you don't know what effort to put in what direction. So I guess my final question to you guys is, how do you get continuity of the objective, so that the people know they're making progress?
You want to take that?
Yeah, sure. I'd go back to, referring to our customers, I would refer back to the time to line. I mean, that is a really good metric. It's a really good metric to understand the connection of the car between the different departments, unifying the different departments, because a time to line involves your sales department, your fixed ops. It involves the parts, service, everybody. And everyone has to do their part. I feel like most stores need to go through a couple phases before they really start to make a difference in time. You got your first phase of establishing a baseline, just awareness. Too often we ask a customer, how long does it take for you guys to recondition a vehicle? And the number is usually much lower than reality, because there's not really a way to measure holistically of the entire process. Then it's, okay, now our goal is, we know the time, let's kill some of that dead time. What do we do? Where's nothing happening? Where's that non-value added time? Let's come up with a process to expedite that. And then the final stage is, hey, look, we've eliminated all the waste. Well, now how do we work to make the process faster? There's no waste, but maybe there's just a better way to do what we're doing today. And what's great about a unified metric like time to line, or reconditioning time, or even time to sale, is you're bringing all the departments together. How can I do what we're doing faster? How can I contribute to the overall metric of the store? And whether you're using our product or just tracking it manually, that should be the same goal.
And remember to share with your team the why. When I was a process performance manager with Rapid, I'd go into stores, and what I see is a lot of task-oriented people. They're in reconditioning, and they're carrying out a task, and why they're doing it? Because somebody told them to. So they're focused on completing that task. They are not focused on making things better. So when you share the why and the results daily of that goal, you get even entry-level people going, why am I pressing this button? I can eliminate this altogether if I do X. As department heads, we don't have all the answers, and it's okay to not have all the answers. Lean on your frontline people. You're paying good money to these people, and a lot of them are very smart. And especially flat rate people will come up with very genius ways of doing things better, because it's going to impact their income. So share the why, and don't be afraid to.
Oh, those are really good insights, guys. This has been really useful conversation, and I am hoping that our viewers will get some things out of this. I'm going to continue to evolve this particular conversation, because I often find at management levels there's sometimes a tendency for the guys that have been thinking they've been solving this problem, they're on their own for a long time, and they're kind of DIY mentality. And they also think you can throw a piece of software at people and process problems and it'll solve it. Okay. So you've all been there, and we see that continually. So it really does take everybody knowing where they stand and everybody being comfortable with the processes that you're doing. So if you're going to measure people, and frankly, you're going to pay people they're related to these performance, the performance levels. You've got to think about exactly what you've said. It's about the team and the continuous improvement of these things, because you never get it all right. I mean, this is always going to be things that don't go right that need that. But if you don't know where you stand, you don't have anything to work from. So listen, I appreciate your time, gentlemen. I know you're both very busy, and so I'd like to pick this up maybe down the line just a little bit. We'll kind of see what people have fed back to us in terms of things they've learned from what we've done here. So thank you for visiting your place, and you guys have a great day, and thank you for your insights.
Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis.